Hey everybody, this is Amanda from Amanda's Budgets. I am excited to finally make this video. I don't know if excited is the right words to use, but I at least am starting to figure things out. So, we're going to start this off with, obviously there's going to be no Save Day Sunday. Why? Because any side hustle money, any gig working money is going to go to bills until I get an actual check in my hands. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Amanda. I am 34 years old. I live in Oregon. I'm an all-cash budgeter. I do cash stuffing, sinking funds, savings challenges, all on a low income. If that's something you're interested in, please hit that like and subscribe button. I noticed that 32,000 people have watched my channel in the last 30 days. Probably because of all of the views I'm getting on my I didn't get paid video. That I think some of you guys should just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps the algorithm of YouTube, my channel, and it helps grow everything that I'm trying to do here. So, something a little bit about this. If you have watched my channel for a long time, then you already know. I do a lot of budgeting on this channel. We talk a lot about finance. We talk a lot about being on a low income, all of the things. So I wanted to go over this particular last paycheck, basically what I could afford after my plumbing experience with frozen pipes and needing to pay $500 for a plumber, along with a bunch of other things that, came up because life is life, right? I don't sugarcoat anything on this channel. I have had a few commenters comment about some things in the last video I had. Not a lot. Most of you guys were understanding. But let me just pass this on to you. Judgment on a person does not define who they are. It defines who you are. So if you want to go ahead and judge me, cool. Go for it. But does it really reflect on me, or does that reflect on you? Because it's not reflecting on me over here. You can tell me negative things all day long. Yes, Amanda, don't do this, don't do that. But this is my money, and I get to tell every dollar what it's going to do. You don't have to live my life. You don't have to deal with anything with my finances. You're lucky I'm showing you what I show you. You're lucky I'm transparent. Okay? So, I just want to get it out there. We're going to make it quick. Somebody said that I had spent $60 on nails. I spent $60 on groceries. I gave my husband $30 for his necessities, and I gave myself $24. My nails are still the same from the last video, right? And if I so choose to go get my nails done with part of my YouTube check, which I hadn't got yet, because it usually lands in between the 21st and the 26th, that's on me. I work hard on this channel. I make a lot of content for this channel. If I want to go spend $60 on my nails, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I have some money left over from groceries. We're going to keep it in there for now. I didn't stuff any of these envelopes. My husband's money went to him, but magically, better watch out. I still have my $24 in here. So this is money I can spend on myself, and I'm going to do that. It's anything I want to buy. $24 is not going to break the bank. Let's go over a few things that I found out. So, statistically, I wanted to know how much y'all spend. I don't know why I said y'all, I'm not Southern, from Oregon. On eating out. Okay, so How often do Americans eat out? On an average every week. 4.2 times a week. Yes, I have it written down here. Okay, so we're going to put this into perspective. If you eat out once a week, think about it. Average spent on fast food a week, 40% Americans spend $148 each a month on fast food. $1,200 a year. 10% of their income individually goes towards food cost. The average meal for dining out, 42%, and this was in 2022, by the way, because this is when the last census was done. 42% of people spend $11 to $20 per person. 20% of people spend $21 to $30 per person. I'm not going to judge you for how you spend your money. Do not judge me for spending $50 to $60 on my nails, because you spend that much a week going to McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. And I'm not going to be laughing at you or making you feel bad because you didn't get a paycheck that you worked hard for and are well deserved of that paycheck. But I'm not going to laugh at you. And I'm not going to point fingers at you in that drive-thru, okay? However, when I found out those statistics, if you know, I don't eat out. I don't dine out. I don't go to fast food. I've worked in restaurants enough to go, oh, no, 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 no. I don't want anything I'm going to consume in my body to come from this location. It's happened at every single food place I've ever worked. Every single one. I am happy to make my own Amanda Mac here if I want it. But I don't eat that way. I am a low-income mother of 2 boys. One is 9, the other one is 12, and I'm a wife. My husband is 30 years old. We are very low income. We have always been low income. I have been low income to the point where I was so low income I was homeless. I was homeless for 4 years. I lived in my previous place. As of 2 months ago, I beat homelessness by renting a townhome. The rent there got too high. I wanted to own. I've always wanted to own. I've been looking to buy a home for 10 years. And I bought this house for $10,000. It's a manufactured home. It's a single wide. It is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I do have to pay $550 for space rent, but I'm not paying $1,480 for my cruddy slumlord driven townhome. So, think of all those things. So we're going to get to the updates. I mentioned in my video that my dad slipped and fell on the ice. He hurt his back. He landed on stairs or cement. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I wasn't physically there, so I'm just saying what he told me. He hit pretty hard. He was having a hard time breathing in, coughing, things like that. You know, we're a couple days into this now, so he's starting to feel a little on the mend. However, he's realized, well, I'm a very low income person and I need health insurance because I'm getting older and anything can happen. So we went online, applied for him to get state insurance through Oregon Health Plan. We also went through the .gov websites that they have for people who are low income looking for insurance. So in that, we found that he does not qualify because he makes $64 a month over the Oregon Health Plan amount for a single one person on your plan. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. What is going on with the United States, folks? What's going on? These people that are applying are so low income that they qualify for other assistance throughout the state, throughout the government, throughout the United States. Why do we have to make these older folks suffer? Okay? It doesn't make sense to me. So in 2022, 50% of American adults say that they cannot afford health care costs. And that's monthly. In 2022, 26 million people, or 7.9%, were losing their benefits or ineligible for state insurance. Okay? So that's gone up since then, right? Because we've lived through a pandemic. We are in inflation. We are looking at different criteria. You have to be, if you are a well-bodied person, not on Social Security disability or working a program to get a job, you have to work 20 hours a week to get eligible for EBT SNAP. So I've heard some content creators lately on YouTube talk about that. I could get on welfare. Sweetheart, people who are low income working people can't get on SNAP. Okay? They don't qualify. The qualifications have changed. It's not like you walk in and they just hand that to you. I'm sorry. But my dad is a gig working, low income, wage earning individual. And because he can't afford health insurance, because the insurance that we were looking at was seemingly pretty cheap, but then they talk about subsidies and all the different bells and whistles. If you've been on those .gov websites, you know it almost feels like a scam. But my dad didn't go to the hospital. He didn't go to the doctor because he doesn't have insurance. He doesn't have insurance, and that's not fair. Obviously, life is not fair, but we live in the United States, and this is 2024, folks. 2024. How does a homeless person eat if they are a well-bodied person, but they can't take a shower, they can't go to get a job, maybe they have addiction problems, maybe they have mental health problems, maybe they're so homeless that they're sleeping on the street. How do you figure? Okay, so I was a lucky homeless person. I lived in my car. I, at one point, had a travel trailer I lived in. And that's a whole nother story, and I haven't even told anybody that story yet because it literally broke me. Okay, so I worked 2 full-time jobs to get out of my situation I was in. I was not an addict. I was not a gambler. I was not in any mental health crisis. I did not spend my money away like I had it. I have never had a student loan. I never had a car loan until I was almost 30 years old. Actually, late 20s. But still. Never had a loan before. Didn't have a credit card until I was 27 years old. But I was homeless for 4 years. Because I was making such a low income, I couldn't afford to live in a place. So, think about it. My rent, and I was going to write it down, but I don't really want to waste a sticky note on it. You can do the math. My rent was $12.50 when I moved in, and I had to make 3 times that on a single person's income. If you're low income, you're not making 3 times that. You're not. So I'm done with my rant. All in all, don't judge me because I'm going to go get my nails done sometime or another, whether it be this month or next month. I don't care. It's my one thing. I don't wear makeup. I don't go get my hair done. I don't color my hair. I buy Dollar Tree hair products. I buy household supplies from the Dollar Tree. I don't buy fancy foods. I don't spend any money. I don't have any subscriptions other than the one that I have for Etsy stuff. But that comes out of my Etsy check. I automatically assume that $13 of this subscription is coming out of my business expenses. So, don't judge me, because I'm not judging you. We're supposed to be a team in this world where people bring each other up, and build each other up, not tear each other down. So, we're gonna get into the check. This is the part you've been waiting for, and I made you wait for it because I needed you to hear what I needed to say. So, my check. I called the Wage and Labor Bureau of the area. I spoke to somebody, and this was just absolutely sickening to find this out. But they can do an investigation for me. But the federal law is that the federal wage is $7.25 an hour. If I went on that investigation and agreed to that investigation, that's what I would get paid an hour for my check. When I was making $14.50 an hour. Why would I do that? And even the woman that I spoke to was like, girl, I wouldn't do that. She was talking to a gentleman who is making $21 an hour, and she's like, well, this is all I can guarantee you is this $7.25 because it's federal, and you've called a federal bureau. And he was sickened as well. So I didn't do an open investigation. So then I decided I'm gonna start talking to my family about what's going on. So I talked to my dad. My dad has a sales and marketing degree. He no longer works in that field for specific reasons. Number one is his age. Those kinds of jobs are word of mouth, and a lot of his friends and coworkers are in retirement age. So it is harder for him to find a job. He's done it. He's had jobs, but he likes to be self-employed. And honestly, these wages don't go far for a single person. So he has to do what he has to do, right? So he was like, we need to find somebody that's higher than whom you're talking to. I've talked to the district manager. I've talked to the regional manager, which is all of Oregon. I called the corporate number for this major, huge, gigantic, all over the world food chain, fast food chain, looking for my check. And they tell me, well, you reached us and this is a franchise that you were working for, so we can't help you find your check. Dead end there. So my dad's making calls. I'm making calls. My husband's like, I will drive anywhere for this check. And I'm like, okay. So I find out that after my dad does the research, I do the research, he calls me and he's like, I talked to somebody as high up as I possibly could. Hopefully you'll get a call today. And I'm like, okay. Well, and I've already talked to the district manager in text, in email. Documentation is 1,000 words, people. I've talked to his boss twice in the last week. He seemed unamused, unalarmed. Oh, it's okay. She doesn't have her check. No big deal. We'll figure it out. It'll come. No worries. So I get a call from the district manager, and he's sick as a dog. Sounds like complete crap. I'm like, well, I hope you didn't get the Rona. You know? The big C of the last few years. And he's like, I don't think so. But I haven't been going in to the store, and so I don't know where your check is. He's like, I'm going to call down there, and I'll call you back. So he calls down there, no check. No check. So then he doesn't call me back for a while. I called the store myself, and I'm like, okay, dude, I want to talk to the store manager. So I'm talking to the store manager. We're the same age. He knows life is life, and I need my check. I got bills. They're here. They're multiplying at this point. Right? Maybe not multiplying, but they're here. And I'm like, dude, I need my check. Where's my check? And he's like, I'm really sorry, but when you quit... Yes, you heard me, quit. Everybody keeps saying, well, if you were fired. I was not fired. I quit. And I quit for darn good reasons, and it's in the last few videos. So if you're interested in knowing, I'm not going to rehash that out, but that should have never gone down that way. So, he says, I didn't issue you your check. It was never printed. Like, it wasn't a mail thing. You just forgot to process my check. And he's like, yeah, I forgot to process my check, and I'm no longer going to be the store manager soon. I'm hoping to go on to something else because this is a circus. Well, I'm sorry you created that circus, but you can't treat your employees like they are your friends. Teenagers are not your friends. You are 34 years old. Get your stuff together, because you're obviously not doing your job. Because I don't have a check. So finding this out, I'm like, well, the district manager should have known this, right? It's also his job to oversee your job, because this is his store more than this is your store. Because he has this whole franchise chain of stores in this area he needs to oversee. So I get off the phone. I get a call back from the district manager. And he says, Amanda, I'm really sorry, but your check was not issued. Was not sent. So I'm getting a money card with my check in it, on it, deposited on there, direct deposited. And supposedly, by law, because they not only got a phone call from my dad, but they got a phone call from corporate. And then they also got a call from the Federal Wage and Labor Board. Because even though I didn't put in an investigation, the person I talked to, the woman I talked to, was like, I'm going to call them anyway, on your behalf, to figure out what's going on. Maybe it'll stir the pot. So he got all these calls, and corporate is like, you can't not pay her. So supposedly I'm going to have my check on this pay card on Monday, which is tomorrow, which is also the day I do my interview at my new, hope to be new job. Hoping I'd reschedule this interview because of really, really dangerous weather. I posted pictures in my community tab. Go check it out. You'll see the sheet of ice in somebody's driveway. It's been bad. I've been gig working when I can, but I am only getting out there when it's warm enough for things to start looking a little melty. And I've lived here most of my life. And I'm not going to go risk my car, and I'm not going to risk my body trying to get somewhere to make a buck. Okay? So, I'm getting my paycheck on this card. And not only that, but they have to pay me for 8 hours of work every day I don't have my check by law. So I have my check plus 32 hours additional on that pay card. If I don't get my check tomorrow, I am going to continue to make sure they uphold that legality of that 8 hours. Until I get that paycheck in my hand, they have to pay me. Because it was not my fault. That was not my fault why I didn't get that paycheck. I quit. I called the district manager when I quit. I talked to the store manager when I quit. He was physically there. I talked to the assistant manager. I did all the right things. I did not purchase my uniform, and I gave it back to them, so I don't owe them anything for anything. And actually, technically, I didn't even have to do that, because usually they don't want it back after you've worn it, because they have no means of washing it or anything. But I was sweet and kind, and I washed it. I sent it back with all my aprons and all the things. So hopefully on Monday, tomorrow, we'll be doing this big cash stuffing, and it'll be with a lot of extra money that I didn't think I was actually going to get. But we'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. So I'm out there gig working when I can, how I can, however many times I can. I'm going to be kind of holding that back. My husband was like, let's bring back the bottles and cans, because I do that. I'm a recycler. I love recycling. I feel like it helps our environment. I'm environmentally savvy. I've been, on that forever. So in Oregon, bottles, like plastic bottles, glass bottles, aluminum cans that your drinks come in, we can return that for 10 cents. And he's like, we can use that for Save Day Sunday. That way you feel like nothing's changed, and maybe it'll help your anxiety a little bit. But I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to risk driving on the sheet of ice to go to the bottle place to return these bottles and cans just to save $50 this week. And I'm sorry that there is no Save Day Sunday, and I'm sorry to myself that there's no Save Day Sunday, because it's one other thing I look forward to. 2 things I do for myself. I do my nails, and I do my savings challenges. So if you are having a hard time out there, please look into any government-funded things. Even if you don't qualify, it's worth a shot. If you are not insured and you need medical, dental, vision, check out your local area, your state, and see if you can possibly sign up for health insurance. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's income cap is different in your area. If you are struggling to buy food, which we are definitely not at this moment, we still have the horde of Amanda buying bulk of everything. Please make sure that you are going to food banks, because if food banks don't get enough people coming in, they close. It's happened in this area already. One place is closed because nobody went to it. And food banks don't give to places that don't hand out enough food, which then makes resources harder in the area. Go to the local SNAP EBT office, sign up for EBT, even if you get something small. If you're struggling and it's a hard hustle out there, because I'm there right now, apply. What does it hurt to apply? If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you are having a hard time financially, know that you are not alone. Mental health is your wealth. But as always, do what you can with what you got, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.